day in and day out, year after year, day upon day, watching my parents live that calling out had a profound effect. And I got to be witness up close and personal because we were never apart.
As a kid that was raised up as a homeschooler, that is now homeschooling your kids, that you are such a success story, and mostly not because I'm flattering you, but because you love God with your whole heart and because you are doing His will. And to me, that is the ultimate success of what we're doing in raising our kids in homeschool. If you could share a couple of the top takeaways from your parents and how they homeschooled and raised you, what would those be?
I would say that the top takeaway that I saw in my parents' life was their utter and complete reliance on God.
Mm.
It's easy to say we need to rely on God. It's easy to tell our kids that, but to watch that day in and day out, year after year, day upon day, watching my parents live that calling out had a profound effect. And I got to be witness up close and personal because we were never apart. We were always together. There was never a time where I saw the bad days, I saw the good days, but ultimately they were relying on God. And I think that was evidence that as homeschooling parents, the key to being a successful homeschool parent is never to look to anyone else for the things that God has promised to provide us.
Yes.
Because His faithfulness is unmatched. And I got to see His faithfulness with my parents. I'm watching His faithfulness in my day-to-day life. I'm doing my best by God's grace to live His calling on my life for my kids as well. And that when they walk away from this homeschool education, what I want for them to have is that utter and complete reliance on the goodness of God. And everything else will fall into place if they have that.
Right. Seek first the kingdom of God. And you're an example of that, right? I mean,
absolutely.
If that is what your parents put all their time and effort into, if they truly homeschooled you out of conviction and complete dependence upon God, which they did, all of the academics, all of the education, it came for you. I mean, I look at you, you're very well educated. I mean, it worked because when we do things God's way, it will work. When we have things in the right order. That was my biggest takeaway from your parents. The other is I just love that your dad, that education and life has to be married. There has to be a union between real life and education. There is no separation, right? Those two things go hand in hand and it makes it real. And the last big takeaway I had that I want to leave our audience encouraged is engage your kids in the process. We have to, this generation, every listener here, whether you feel the effects of regulation in your state, whether you are seeing the school choice money come into your state and the regulations that guaranteed will follow, you have to be engaged. And I encourage you to be engaged before it's too late. I encourage you to be engaged whether you feel the effects or not, because quite frankly, none of us are probably feeling the effects that are going to be coming in this exact moment, but they will come and we need to be engaged and we need to engage our children. We need to be dragging our kids down to the state house. We need to have them in the room when we're making the calls to our legislators. We need to be telling them why we're doing what we're doing. We're doing it because God has called us to do something. We're answering God's call and because we care about them and their future. And so don't think that you are in a season that you can't engage because you have 6 kids at home. You're up to your eyeballs in laundry and school and dinner. That's okay. That's where God is going to show up. And so drag those babies down there.
Homeschool Insights is sponsored by CTC Math. If you're looking for a great online math program, visit ctcmath.com and try it for free. For more great homeschool inspiration and resources, listen to the Schoolhouse Rocked Podcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday.